Hey, hey guys, how's everyone doing? I said I'd come on at 3. I decided to come to my spa so everybody can kind of see my spa area. I'm gonna wait a little bit to get started. I was sniffing on my Live with Passion. And then I'll go ahead and get started. It's hot today here in Michigan. I don't know how everybody else is. It's hot, hot, hot. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get started. I just wanted to hop on and just kind of introduce myself and tell everyone who I am, how I even got into the world of aesthetics. So my name is Dana Mott. I am a wife. I am a mother of 2. I have a 7-year-old daughter and I have a 3-year-old son, my Ayla and my Dayton. I have been an esthetician for 10 years, about 10 years now. But my journey actually begun a little after I got out of high school. I actually was going to school to be a physical therapist, believe it or not. So, hey, how are you, Kim? So when I was going to school to be a physical therapist, I got my associates in applied science, and I was, hey, Amber. And I was on track to start at a university and finish getting that degree. But soon as I had finished getting my associates, they had changed the program where you had to get a doctorate here in the state of Michigan. So I was like, well, do I really want to keep going that long, or do I want to look into something else? So it was actually suggested to me to look into like massage therapy, or because for me, I love the body and I love anatomy and I love understanding how things work and go together. So I decided I was going to go into aesthetics because it was a very short program. I could do it in a year. It was relatively inexpensive in comparison to the schooling I was doing. So I was like, so if I take a year off and let's say I just absolutely hate it, I didn't waste that much of my life. So I went ahead and did that. I got into the aesthetics program. And when I got there, I actually ended up loving it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. At the time I was working at Costco, and I actually purchased a really, really large reference book, and it all was about the human muscles and the skeletal system. Hey, Terrlyn, how are you? And I just studied that book. Like, I was just so intrigued with the body, the systems, how it worked and everything. And then to me, the layers of skin and just really how our skin actually truly tells us how the rest of our health and our body is. So it really, really got me so fascinated. I really loved that. And so that was around like 06-ish, 2006, that I had finished the program and everything. And I actually ended up having a job ready for me even before I had a license. And when I got to this position, I was so excited. I was finally going to be in the spa world and everything. And it was predominantly massage based spa. So I was the esthetician there. And there was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 massage therapists. The spa that I worked for, the guy was very, very intuitive when it came to marketing and promoting. So what he did is actually he would send out cards where you, on one side, could get a 30-minute facial, other side you would get a 30-minute massage. And so, you know, I'm all excited. I know all about skin and I'm ready to get going and everything. And what I would find is a lot of people would come in, even though it was free, and they'd be like, oh, facial. I've never had a facial. Massage sounds good. I'll get the massage, but I'm not sure about that facial thing. And I was like, wait, why are people not getting facials? Like, you know, this is what I went to school for. I'm excited. Like, I'm going to get going. And so I found myself from that point having to educate people. I would sometimes get people that are like, oh, that just seems like a luxury and, you know, things like that. But I would find if I got hold of people, then I had a client forever. So I would actually joke, and I would say, I love virgin clients. I'd love to be your first. So that I can convert these people to understand how important a facial is. And I always likened it to just like, you go to the dentist to get that extra deep clean, and you make sure what you're doing on a daily basis is really what's going to be most important and most effective for your skin. So that's what I would liken a facial to. So I actually end up, fast forward a little bit. I stayed at that spa for quite some time. I ended up being the head esthetician there, and me and the owner, we worked very, very closely. We got to the point where we had like 3 or 4 estheticians because the aesthetics really started booming. But what we found is it wasn't until they were educated that we really started growing our aesthetics. So I would actually hold classes. So I would hold classes where I would just basically tell people how to take care of their skin at home. So we would go through the importance of cleansers and exfoliants and moisturizing and serums, and we would demonstrate everything. And it was just a really, really fun time because, we would open a bottle of wine and it would be a girls' night, and everybody was learning and really just being educated. So I stayed there for quite some time. I actually ended up leaving a little bit before the spa actually ended up closing down. So I do think that we are put in places at certain times for certain purposes. So I actually left right before really needing to look for another job because I had something already waiting for me. But from that point on, I realized that it was a market that I needed to educate on. So very, very early, education was my passion. That was my thing. I wanted to educate people on skin, why it's important, why you need it. And so, hey Larissa, how are you? So then I fast forward a little bit. So I started working at another spa and everything. And now this spa was a little more high end. They had some upscale products and things like that. But I still, during this period, was in that time where I was very aware of labels and I was very aware of chemicals. Hey, Leah. So although these were some high-end products I was working with, I would flip over the labels and I'd be like, you can make this at home. Or I would be like, you don't want this one in your system. This is this is on the bad list. Don't put that in. So what I would find is I worked there, but the problem with this spa is it was very, very product driven. So a lot of my commission had to do with the products and selling the products as well as doing my services. That didn't work out well for me. I end up so many times with clients just writing on a piece of paper I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I need you to go here and buy this instead. Don't buy what they have. And I did this over and over to the point it just didn't even make sense for me to stay there. It just didn't make sense because I didn't believe in the products, and I'm not going to put people in something that I know is not the best for them. I can't do it. There's no part of me that can live with myself and do that. So let's fast forward more. So now I move on to another spa, and I actually get to go back to, because the first spa I worked at was in Birmingham, Michigan, and I got to go back to Birmingham. Again, I was very happy with where I was. Very, very high-end skincare as well as high-end makeup. So it's funny too, sometimes when we look at some of the Young Living products and we're looking at the prices, I'm laughing because I'm really? Because I had people that were buying creams that were this big and they were $400, $500. We literally had a serum that was $6,000. A serum. $6,000. So I was at the spa, and now they did have some great brands that did actually have better product or better ingredients in their products. So there were some things that, again, I didn't mind recommending, but then it was the same thing where, again, I'm reading labels and I'm you can find something better or a little bit cheaper. So I came to kind of a crossroad where I'm okay, this is crazy. I want the best for my clients. I want the best for the people that I'm working with, and I'm not finding it. And I would even do this with makeup. So I came to a period where I was frustrated with makeup, and I love makeup. I do like it. And I actually, and my husband can attest to this, and he talked about me, but I actually would be on the stove and I would melt down mica powders and I would make my own mascara. I would make my own eyeshadows. I would mix up colors. So even with like, a lot of people are saying some of the things with like Young Living's lipsticks and lip glosses and it not being as pigmented is because there's no crap in it. I actually, the reason I stopped making makeup is because I would have so many requests for like, I need a deep purple blue and I need a deep this color. And I'm like, there's nothing natural I can do to make you that color. And I got frustrated. Like, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is what I have and that's it. So I kind of stopped doing that and getting into that. But it had got to the point where it was that bad, where I'm like, I can't find consistent, well-priced things that don't have a bunch of junk in them. So of course, as we know, Young Living came into my life. And I was so, again, fascinated with the skincare. Like, when you look at some of the ingredients in the skincare that we have, like, we have ingredients in our skincare that are also in our supplements. So if you just stop and think about that for a little bit, that is amazing. So most skincare products on the market are endocrine disruptors, and they are combating what we need our body to function well. But yet Young Living said, you know what? I'm going to put ingredients in there that actually work with your system. And yeah, it's going to make your skin look better, but it also is going to help every system of your body. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, that is phenomenal that they would even, some people saying you can find some natural things to pigment for red lipsticks because other companies do, and they're hoping Young Living can find those, but I don't think there really is. I haven't found it. I even like played around with like beet juice and stuff. So glad you're explaining this. Of course. Yeah, like I would take like beet juice, I would take berries, like, and try to pigment like the lipsticks and lip glosses. Like, if you can just imagine what my kitchen looked like, my husband, he would be so upset. He's like, what are you doing in here? And I'm sure Young Living will come up with something and get as close as they can, but I do know it is going to be a hard road, like, because it is a little bit more difficult with pigmentation. So I think that was mainly everything I wanted to talk about. So after, of course, that last spa that I was at, and deciding that, like, I'm fed up, like, I can't find what I need, I branched off to do my own thing. So now we are in my suite. So now I do my facials and my skincare here. But it is so refreshing to finally have like a skincare line that I can fully get behind. Like, I can fully feel confident about putting on my clients and telling them, like, no, this is absolutely the best. Hi, how are you, Chris? So I think it's so important that we read our ingredients and realize what we have. So I couldn't be happier where I am and being able to give to people. So while I'm on, does anybody have any more questions or anything? So that basically is my story and how I got to where I am. And if you didn't hear from the beginning, you can go back and watch the replay after I post it and hear the whole story. But I hope that puts into perspective, like, it again, it's crazy to me how, like, I mean, I know it's definitely, things are meant to be because it's like, what are the odds that I would end up with a company that has the type of skincare that I've been looking for this whole time and then add makeup? Like, come on. You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to hop off of here. I hope that was helpful. And again, I just wanted everyone to get to know a little bit more about me and my background. What should I get for my first skincare product from Young Living? You got to tell me more about your skin. What issues are you having with your skin, or what would you like to see maintained or improved? Because I might tell you what my favorite is, but you might not have the same issues skin-wise as me. I live in Florida, very humid. Have you used the mint scrub? I have sunspots on my face. My skin needs youth help. So I would say for Donna, I would say if you haven't used the mint scrub, I would use the mint scrub. When you're talking about youth help, now I use oatmeal lavender. That's good. That sounds awesome. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, if you haven't tried the mint scrub, I would try the mint scrub. Now, when we talk about like age, again, now are we talking dehydration or are we talking wrinkles? Sunspots. So sunspots, Sheerloom, neroli, carrot seed oil, myrrh are some great ones. But Sheerloom. I would say too our serum. That serum is amazing too. Sundam is Sheerloom. Sheerloom. And neroli. Look up the benefits of neroli and what it does for the skin. I don't know how compliant I can fully tell about that. Okay, neroli. Definitely neroli. And for the pigmentation, Sheerloom. Mema Talk, I will have a talk where I talk more specifically about like wrinkles, aging and stuff like that too. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. You're welcome. My pleasure. All right, bye, guys.